Morning, David. Morning, young Rosie.
Is that John?
It's not John, it's Tony. It's all happening.
Anyone hear a joke?
Not your dad jokes, mate. Not if they're as bad as the ones you put on Messenger. Yeah.
You'll be sliding down the street.
I'll hear
exactly
you
what
joke,
they were
Lucy.
doing. The old tequila trick.
Want to hear the worst dad joke?
Just put a
Far
picture
away,
of
mate.
yourself up.
Go for it.
This one.
Put a picture up of yourself, please.
Spiders and snakes over there, that's crazy.
Grizzly bears.
I said, you guys go for a walk in the park and you either get
Someone's very loud.
by a bear or a mountain lion. I'd take the spider over
Loud
that.
noises.
Hey, Jake. Jared's joining us from lovely Casino, God's Country. Samet. Young Daniel Slater with attitude, arms crossed, ready to go. Katie, morning, Katie. Stokesy, looking very serious. Got his game face on. DG.
That's my trying to read.
The real DG's here. I'm just an impersonator.
Yeah. Stokesy,
David,
Rosie, Dan. Bluesy, it was an absolute pleasure having a chat with you today.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Dave, did you know 5 out of 4 people are bad at fractions?
5 out of what?
4 people are bad at fractions.
5 out of 4. Can't have a fraction like that.
Sorry, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I really hope that Geoff wasn't on for that. But Batesy, hello. We've got Geoff. Hello, Mr. Carter. Adam's there. Al, Mr. Harry, John Slater. I've got to get rid of this Captain David Gray shit. I had a proper business meeting 2 days ago and fucking the whole time they're going, Captain, 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 Captain. Fucking. Hello, Katie, Logan, Samet. Look at Brendan with his model shot up. Hey, just doing his best. Wraith and Rhodes, Mr. Woodgate. Fucking Slater's left. What happened there? Morning, Tashi. Hope Jeff knows he's on. 8:31.
He's not in the waiting room, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, there might have been a mix-up. Usually he'd be on by now. Ah. Lizzie. Sorry, a bit of a private chat. Whoop. Whoop. Can you hear me there, Stokesy?
Dan's back. We can hear you, mate.
Cool. All right. I might improvise, eh? Improvise under pressure. Improvise under pressure.
Is he coming on? Are you going to call him?
I don't know. We'll just leave him be. Leave him be.
Here he is now.
Here he is.
Easy. Okay. Morning, Geoff. You there, buddy?
Hello, mate. Yep.
Hello, mate. I've had a little bit of panic, mate, because we've done some changes, so I didn't know if you're turning up.
No, mate, I wouldn't miss it for the world, Dave.
Thanks, mate. I just thought, mate, seeing we'd had a catch up already this week, that was probably enough, mate. Probably enough for you. But
Never enough.
the
mate.
fact that you've doubled up in a week, mate's inspiring.
Disease of more.
I'm just a bit rattled, mate. I just keep looking at Brendan's shot to the right. I got your head and Brendan's model shot. So it's it's like the yin and the yang.
Mate, it is. Mate, what can I say about my loaf of bread? Stokesy loved that. He's dead set lost it.
I think it's like the before and after shot, eh? The before and after.
Mate, it's a thing of beauty, Stead's head, but mate, mine's another matter. But we do what we can.
Yeah, cool. Mate, one little thing that I think with having Tony and Jake on board, they've been working pretty well. And the team's momentum or numbers are probably better than they've been. I don't know if it's fully resulted in all the success, because the market up here, we're getting pretty low on stock. But I think what I want to say to the team, usually I'm giving them uppercuts, but I suppose a bit of a cuddle to say the momentum's good. I've seen it, but you just got to keep it going and you will be rewarded. It might not be this month, it might be January or February next year, but you just can't take that foot off the pedal. And that momentum and that workload's has got to continue from now and forever. And it's just, we've got to do that journey, whether we get rewarded or not, and just believe in the fact that we're going to be rewarded. I don't know what you're even going to talk about today, but I don't know if that's
Tony, you and I can resign now. We just got a compliment from Dave, so we don't need to come to work today.
Mate, as we all know, I fucking give a compliment and then I quickly take the feet from under them. So
surfs up, boogie boards in the boot. Happy days.
I don't know if you heard everything, but if you're listening closely, you would have said that the output hasn't resulted in the fucking success yet. So there's still plenty to work on, boys. So all right, Geoff, back to you, mate.
Mate, weren't you in a car? Weren't you outside like 1 minute ago? I've dead set put me head. Mate, you move quick.
Yeah, man. Mate, I was outside and there was a bit of noise going on. So
incredible stuff. All right. Nice to be back in the mix. There's Clive. He's happy, smiling. I can see him. Great to see everybody. Jade, great to have you up there. And as Dave just said then, firstly, I think one of the keys with real estate, there are feasts and famines and swings and roundabouts, and most of which is stock, and you go through stages like that, and it is what it is. And I've got a bit of an analogy that hopefully it resonates. If you're driving along, let's say you're on a runway, perfectly straight, flat, bitumen, mate, you can just floor it, go as fast as you can, and good times, record speed, whatever. Other times you're on the dirt road, rally car, bumps, potholes, fallen trees, kangaroos, wombats, and you got to navigate the terrain. And what a lot of people do, and this is more so in Sydney, but they might be in lockdown and they get frustrated because they're not going as fast. But if you're on the dirt road, well, mate, you got to dodge the kangaroos, wombats, potholes, and trees versus a straight bit of road, flat stick. And relative to stock, the market, all these things are variables that are beyond your control. And one of the biggest traps for people is that they forget that. Biggest 2 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever, last year, and it was flat and it was straight, and now it's not for whatever reason, one of which stock. And you just got to be aware of that, because it's a very slippery slope from that to getting a bit frustrated. Now, the minute you get frustrated, in my humble opinion, you lose. because I've been saying a lot lately that enthusiasm is the secret sauce to success. And think about that. Like, that's why I've watched clients lately, right, when they start, they've got great businesses, but they don't think they're great. Or they might have multiple businesses and they're confused about which one to focus on, or all this stuff, right? You fast forward a month and you get them doing a bit of life and you make them do things outside of work for not like heaps, but an hour at night or something. A month later, they're like, how good's my life? Like, this is great. But nothing changed, but everything changed, right? You got to be enthusiastic. If you're not enthusiastic about your work, you run out of juice. Now, enthusiasm and motivation are different. Motivation's like, I've got a goal and it's over there and I'm going to run hard. Motivated. I'm going to watch YouTube videos by The Rock about being motivated. Hey, hardest worker in the room. I'm going to hustle that hard. Whoa, I did that. I ran out of juice. I don't know if anyone else has, but enthusiasm is not that. Enthusiasm is where you are, I think, and motivation is about where you're going and want to be, and both of which are good, but you need enthusiasm where you are because it changes everything. It changes the intention on the phone. It changes the intention when you meet people and they feel that intention, right? The intent is massive. So am I enthusiastic at the moment? And if I'm not, why? I reckon that is like one of the key pillars, enthusiasm. You get in the office, boom. I think I've touched on this before, but any office, anywhere in the world, you know, your joint's pretty good from my experience and what I've seen, but it's actually really good. But, you know, there's always going to be a few little bits and pieces or, you know, people being people. The key thing to ask yourself is, why do I care? Why do I care? So if there's a drama over there, why do I care? Remember, Dave said to me ages ago, like, I can choose to engage or not, right? Every time you engage in drama, you lose, right? You know, you don't have to make someone's problem your problem. These are key ways to get more effective more of the time during the week, because I believe it stands to reason. If you're effective more of the time, then you're going to do more at a higher standard and achieve more goals. More effective more of the time, higher standard, achieve more goals. But if you're in your head, drama, this or that, doesn't matter what goals you've got, very hard to hit them. So when there's stuff going on, you want to have these like almost like kind of safeguards, if you will, so that you don't dive into past habits and behaviours. And one of them is, why do I care? So why do I care about that? I don't. What's the story? Like, someone might not agree. You might lose a listing. Something might happen. Why do I care? And what you'll find is that you care because there's a story about you and what they did to you, and that's not fair, but they're not you. So you just put that in the memory bank. You go, that's interesting. I'll just remember that and keep moving. Keep moving. Don't dive into it. Make it a personal attack and lose a day, because only you lose then. They don't lose. So why do I care? And another really important thing for everyone is, what I'm about to do right now, will it make me better or worse? Better or worse? So the people I speak to, the environments, the hobbies, the habits, the business, the this, the that, the like, better or worse, better or worse, better or worse. Now, if you've got a lot of business going on at the moment, you might go to a listing and they are dead set a serial pest. Like, they're just going to cave your head in. It's going to be brutally hard, and I'm sure you've all had them. They never generally end well, right? Like, it's just the emotional energy vampire. So sometimes you go better or worse. That is going to make me a lot worse. And then you can politely step back from it, maybe refer it to someone else, or at least reset the dynamic so that they are not as hard to work with. Because sometimes when you just step back and go, look, maybe this isn't a fit, this is how I work, and have a think about it, and then they pull their head in, and then they're easier to manage through the process, and then you're better. You want to be better doing things, not worse, because a lot of things in our life can make us worse. So we've got a choice, better or worse, better or worse. So there are a couple of things there. Why do I care? Better or worse? Enthusiasm. I think if we can keep them top of mind, we can get more business done. And one of the big things I'm really encouraging people to do, well, if stock's a bit of an issue at the moment, it's a great time. Like anyone who's been in real estate for a while, you've got a significant database. And you know, I see it every day, everywhere. We forget what we've got. It's the classic acres of diamonds, right? Like we'll go out there looking for gold, but there's diamonds under our feet we didn't know. Don't forget what's right under your nose. I remember when I started out as a personal trainer, I had no clients, and I had 1, 2, 5, 10. A few years later, we had a couple of thousand, but I just really valued the clients I've got. If you got 10, it's not, I've only got 10. You got 10 people who chose you. People lead you to people, lead you to people, people are doorways to other social networks, ecosystems that if you do a great job there, you meet more people. Because we live in, you know, technologically advanced times, it's very easy to put a lot of effort into social and paid, and all of which is great, but please don't forget the organic stuff, which leads me to my blockbuster, patent pending, revolutionary, new yes test, the Geoff yes test. There you go. Here it is. Hearing it first, or almost first. So the yes test I created for a client when he was thinking about what new things to do and not to do was organic, flow, easy. Organic, flow, easy. And you can't go wrong. If it's organic coming out of the business you've already cultivated and got, tick. If it flows, it's a battle, shit fight, hard from minute one, and it feels easy, then that's going to be awesome. You cannot fail there. And what it's going to do, it's just going to reset the compass to what you've already got. We got a habit of sort of like over there's better, and we forget what we've got here. And I guarantee if you give people a bit of love and just call them up, say good day, going through the A to Z database, making the calls, not necessarily with an agenda, but just checking in. How are you? Thought of you. How are you? Like if stock's a problem, you might find that there's a bit of stock coming out of those existing people that they might just really appreciate the call, and they might have a friend who's thinking about selling their joint and they mention your name and boom, next minute. I see that all the time. Client calls someone and, oh, mate, I really appreciated the call. Actually, my mum needs to sell a joint. Can you give her a call? That happened last week. It happens all the time. Don't forget what's right under your nose. It's free. And I personally, when I grow business organically, I get a greater feeling of fulfillment because it's like you're good because you don't get referred if you're not good, right? So you get more fulfillment, contribution, satisfaction out of, I find, organic referral business. And a lot of you would have a lot of that, but we've just got to double down on it and not sort of forget it, looking for just the new stuff. Any questions, Dave, or anyone?
The comment I've got is when we talked a bit about drama, we can think external, we can think internally, and I think we're really lucky at the moment. We've got a good culture. So a lot of that chat used to be when we had a couple of bad eggs. The culture's great. I think for the team, what I want them to think about is all our clients have a certain level of drama in their sale. You know, whether they're going through a divorce, whether they're upgrading, whether they're stressed, whatever's going on. And I think as agents, often we can get caught up into their drama. We have to be empathetic, but it's their drama, it's their world, it's their situation. Sure, we can give empathy, but not to get caught up in that and do our job. And our job is to sell that property. And once we sell that property for them, no matter whether it's 480, 490 or 510, we're putting them in the spot where they wanted to get to. So that's what I was thinking there. Geoff,
Sorry, what were we going to say?
That was a little bit brilliant. Then I was going to keep going with more brilliance.
So, yeah, mate, I'll just have a break. Don't give it to us all at once. Keep us waiting in suspense, and I'll just, you know, pat it out a bit, and then we'll get you back. But it
was actually a question, Geoff. Some people get referred, and some people don't. So to me, there's a level of attraction around that. Why do you think some people get a lot more referrals and people want to do business with them than others?
That's a brilliant question, and I believe that it's connection. I think that, those attraction agents, they're great connectors. They are great at building rapport, relationship, trust. I say humanize the experience, systemize the process. And I think the people who don't get referrals, they systemize the process and they probably systemize the experience. So humanize the experience, systemize the process, and you'll get more referrals. Like when you take people through that, that vendor management process from go to woe, and you humanize it, you get referrals. It just ignites something in the person, and they want you to win as well. There's a difference. You might have a good commercial outcome, but you didn't get that connection, and they'll go, that was great, thanks, good result, bye. No referrals. So someone might transact a lot and not get a lot of referrals because of that. It's the connection piece. It's the human piece. It's the empathy piece. It's walking in their joint and going, oh, you've been to Thredbo. Oh, mate, I can't wait to get back down there. Oh, you've been there. Do you go fishing? Like, be observant. The minute you walk into their world is your world. Only that. There is no other world because you're not in it. You're in their world, their goals, their situation, without distraction, looking at the phone, none of that, not dragging anything into that space from your other world's life. The more you immerse in that, the more you get referrals. They feel it.
Yeah, with that, Jeffro, that's that rapport building, and that's that being present in the moment. And I think the next one that I talked to you about is them being of service. Yeah, like if you've got a real service mentality, I think that's the difference. If you look at, Mary, that's 80 odd and still going, and Stewie O'Brien, who are probably two of our bigger referrers in the business. They're two of the biggest agents of at service. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know I've met Mary a couple of times. She's a champion, and I know I've done a bit with Stuart, and like Stuart, he's the classic example of just a champion bloke, says hello to everyone. He strikes me like he's a good case study because I would describe him as like people first, right? So he's like surfs. So he's got a network. I remember I was doing a coaching session with him, and some bloke's banging on his car window at the surf. And he's like, mate, I can't talk. And he's like, sorry, Jeffro, someone wants to talk about the surf. Like, that's gold, right? He's humanized it. He's a great bloke who's not, they talk about commission breath. He's anti that. He's just making friends wherever he goes, and he's good at his job, so he lists a lot of properties. That's to me the holy grail. And business gets so much easier. I call that flow momentum. You carve out your niche, you stay in your niche, you do good work, and you build a great business. And that's what he's done. He's very clear on who he is and what he does and all that. And he gets a lot out of, he loves that feeling of delivering for a client. And if you do that, the business takes care of itself because everyone's qualified because they live in a house. So that's sort of already taken care of. And Dave, you said a good point, a great point about, their problems, their drama. I talk about this a lot as well. Don't make it your problem and your drama, because someone might have a look, and not just with clients and vendors, but other areas of your life or other things in your business. Someone might need something now. That's lovely that they do, but it doesn't mean that you've got to be dragged into massive panic stations drama. So just be very careful that you don't immediately, automatically take on someone else's problem, drama, urgency, anxiety, because that's a trap. So when you can just, yep, I got that, boom, and just keep going without getting rattled, you get heaps more done at a higher level standard. And especially a divorce or anything like that, it's full of that, especially, if you're meeting them independently and they've got, there's a whole heap of stuff, but it's not your stuff. You're there to navigate. And if you get rattled, you can't navigate. So kind of, put yourself in a bubble. It's not your stuff. Now, it's a shame that they're going through that, but I know through having gone through stuff, they'll come out better over time. We can't carry them through it. They've got to walk through it. If you try and carry them through it, you'll get a sore back and they won't learn the lessons. So if you just stay in your space and don't sort of take on everyone else's like a pack horse, you'll have a huge amount more energy and you'll be more effective. Questions, thoughts?
So, mate, we might get rewarded for all this hard work. How do we keep going? 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 How do we keep going?
Oh, yeah, sure. Great. Well, this brings me to my favourite topic. And a few of you probably will go, this bloke's on drugs, but that's all right. I'm not. I can promise you. I think it all comes down to how we define success and or redefine success. So we look at success, future destination 5 years from now, dream home, boat, car, boom, boom, private school, all that for the kids. Great, awesome. 5 years from now. So, and until we get there for the next 5 years, we won't get a feeling of success. So whatever we achieve, we still won't feel it. That's why I say success is a feeling, not a number, because the number always moves as soon as we get there. So what I've been saying lately regarding success is I look at it on a daily level, because everyone's got more than enough goals. They know where they're going, roughly at least. And what I do every day when I wake up, scoreboard, 0. It's just whoop, 0. So you might have had record-breaking success yesterday, but now you're back to 0. So you can't swan around in it for 3 days. Yesterday's hero success accomplishments, or you might have had a shocker yesterday, dropped the ball, things didn't go your way. You can't dwell in it because now it's back to 0. So what that does for me and clients is it creates urgency every day, and then I can measure it every day. And I work in 2 bursts each day, morning and afternoon, break in the middle. And it's effective time. And I really keep an eye on that and output and what I get done. And I look at that at the end of the day. Great, good, average, shit, go again. Because otherwise, you're on this sort of carousel and it just never ends. So I like the idea of every day I can have a fresh crack at it. I don't have to wait till the start of the month. I don't have to wait till next year or when I get there in 5 years. No, wake up, 0, go, 0, go. Shit day, 0 again tomorrow. Like we want to try and create urgency today. It's like when you're going on holidays tomorrow for a month, you're going to get everything done today. Well, I imagine if you did that every day, like boom, momentum. So, yeah, that's how I look at it. And really, for me, it's just that measuring that effective time, not getting triggered versus what I did a week ago. If I do that, I do more.
So Geoff,
yep.
We want to be present in the moment. We want to be sort of happy and feel success of where we're at, and obviously not get caught up to where we go. How often should we review ourselves? Review and have a good look at ourselves and look in the mirror. Is that a daily thing? Is that a weekly thing? Is that a monthly thing?
Well,
obviously
if something sort of gets to me a bit, that night or there, I'll sort of unpack why. So I go, that's what I need to work on. Like, why do I care? So I generally, I self-check if I'm feeling a bit more of that. Like, why do I care? So if I'm not getting triggered, if I'm staying really good, I keep going. Sort of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if I'm, a few things I'm struggling with, I sort of have a little think about it. Doesn't take me long. It's not like a day. It's like 10 minutes. And then I just, note to self, and then I keep going. Like that's kind of how I do it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If I'm in flow, don't fix it. That sort of thing.
And that keeps you from being in your head too much.
Yeah, and I can learn. So, like, it's easy to take a position on something or get into a disagreement or this, like, why do I care? I can't care because I don't think like every other human, nor do they think like me. We have to just stay in our lane, run our own race. Yeah, comparing, that's a big one. Why do we compare? Why do we care what they're doing? Why do I need to be better than that person? Why can't I just carve out my path? Is it low self-esteem? Is it insecurity? Is it ego? Like what's at play underneath it? It's like the cause and the effect. Comparison's an effect. It's not a cause. So when we're comparing to other people, that's the effect of something else going on of I'm not enough and I'm not good enough and he's better and I'm shit. And like, where's that come from? You know, wind the clock back. What happened at school? What happened in whatever? And first job, second job. Where did that bullshit story come from? Because it's not real. Like, they're the things I like to unpack with people. And then they just, you know, unstuck. But once we work out where that stuff comes from.
We're about to finish off, but with this, I think it fits in with what we've been talking about. I know I'm dealing with a couple of matters outside of business. And I'm trying to work on like trying to settle some things and finance and things like that. So they're high pressure and high stress. A couple of times I've been in Haley's office working on that stuff, not talking to anyone, not saying anything. I'm obviously just in that world. And I've had 2-3 people walk into the room and go, "What's wrong, Dave? What's wrong? What's wrong?" Like I haven't even spoken, nothing's come out of my mouth. So I think our energy, you know, when we talk about how some people get more referrals or whatever, I think we've really got to have a check on our energy. And I'm not talking about, oh, my fucking 9 out of 10 in energy jumping out of my skin, but just how in sync we are or how in our body we are. So just to finish off, Geoff, in your words, how would you describe that? You know, like an energy check before we walk into a listing, a buyer appointment, a phone call.
Well, look, you might think I'm a bit weird. You probably already do, but like I test all these little things. I look at life a bit like, it's like, imagine it was a game and you wanted to get good at the game. Like when you played video games as a kid, you know, we worked out little hacks in the game. I try and do that all the time. So I did this yesterday, right? Going down to the dog park early in the morning. I actually driving down in the car, I just said, love, 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 like trying to cultivate a feeling of love, right? Love, not fear, anger, love. Now, I used to say, I am lucky, I am blessed, or, you know, the word love is very powerful, like, you know, love of life, people, whatever. Anyway, I got down to the dog park yesterday, hand on heart, truth. Every single person there was like the friendliest, happiest I've ever seen. Now, that might just be a complete random coincidence, or it might not. But I generally find if I'm not in a great emotional state, you bump into a whole bunch of grumpy people. And I did that on purpose to test it. And as soon as I got out of the car, a person was there, the same dog as me, and they're playing. And then the next person. So I would test, the energy that we give off, we seem to attract. No idea how it works, but it does. So I use little words to cultivate an energy that's conducive to success and happiness, not a shit fight.
And mate, that's so true. Every time I reckon I've been on holidays with someone, they go, "Oh, this place is so friendly. Everyone says hello to us." And I'm like, that doesn't matter whether you're in Melbourne or now I live in Port and go back to Sydney, or whether I'm in fucking the Gold Coast or Evans Head. It's not that place. It's just when you're on holidays, you're in the fucking different headspace.
Exactly.
Spot on, mate. So if you can manually create that at work all the time, you're going to kill it, because it's a thing like that. You would have all seen when, I don't know, you're in a shit mood, you walk out of the house or you're down the street, everyone's got the shits, right? But when you're feeling good, no one's got the shits. Like, I don't understand it, but it's a thing. So, you know, Jim Rohn, analyze the roots or pick the fruits. I'll just pick the fruits. Fuck, that'll do me. Like, just pick the fruits. That'll do. Like, it works.
Stokesy should be good at this. He's on holidays every day, so he should be fucking great at this.
Mate, he could write a book on it. He could do his thesis.
I'm just looking at his big head now. All right, Jeffro, we're over time, mate. You're absolutely brilliant. Love your work. There's so much gold in that, guys. There's so much gold. So
See you
much
guys.
gold.
See you next month.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.